Your novel is going to have a lot of sentences in it. Like a lot of them. And as my last rejection letter pointed out, you can't just repeat the same sentence over and over again. That's weird and doesn't meet our submission criteria. A great novel is more than the sum of its parts, but that doesn't mean that those individual parts don't factor into the equation. Every sentence is one brick laid in the structure that will become your novel, and if you lay every brick wrong, then the house of your novel will not look right. Just like this metaphor. So today, let's talk about what great sentences have in common and some ways that you can improve your own sentences. The first thing that great sentences do is use a great verb. Most sentences are built out of three components. There's the subject, which is the person or thing doing the thing. There's the object, which is the person or thing the thing is being done to. And there's the verb, which is the action that the subject is doing to the object. Of the three parts, the verb offers the most flexibility to the writer. You have almost unlimited options when it comes to choosing a verb, while you are inherently limited by how you can refer to the subject and the object. Great sentences make use of powerful, evocative verbs. They paint a specific picture in the reader's mind that reinforces whatever message the sentence is delivering. I am no bird, and no net ensnares me. I am a free human being with an independent will, which I now exert to leave you. That sentence is from Jane Eyre, and besides featuring both a semicolon and a full colon, it features a strong verb, ensnares. The same meaning could have been gotten across with a different verb, but verbs like catch or snatch or entangle just don't sound as strong. Don't waste the possibilities that you have to choose verbs, but at the same time, make sure that you don't go too far. You can choose a verb that just sounds fancy and doesn't fit. That's not what you want. A verb that doesn't fit within the broader context of the story or the prose surrounding it is not a good verb, and it will weaken your sentence. And as it turns out, the broader prose surrounding your sentence is another thing to consider. Thing number two that great sentences do, they fit within the context of the prose around them. Any good sentence can be helped or hurt by what is found around it. A perfectly acceptable sentence might seem repetitive or arrhythmic if the sentences preceding and proceeding it are structured in a similar way. Similarly, the content or the idea of the sentence also matters. If the sentence is an action beat and it's living in a group of 4 other action beats, it might be time to give some description or some dialogue for the sake of variety. Variety in the structure and the type of information delivered in sentences is critical to keeping the reader engaged and making sure that the writing flows nicely. It is the literary equivalent of a palate cleanse. Too much of the same thing becomes a drag after a while. Now, repetition can be used to your advantage, but it needs to be deliberate. Who controls the past controls the future. Who controls the present controls the past. In that pair of sentences from 1984, Orwell is using a repetitive structure. Both sentences start and kind of flow the same way. And it works quite well in this case. This is an example of sentences which are enhanced by what comes after or before them. In this case, that repetitive structure works, but oftentimes repetitive structure doesn't work. A lot of this will be worked out as you polish the flow of your prose. You will find that varying the length of sentences, or perhaps using sentences that are all the same length, will create different effects in different passages. In fiction, we have the license to use sentence fragments and other grammatical no-nos in cases where they improve the prose, though this should be done sparingly. Even oft-maligned structures like passive voice have a place, albeit a limited place, in situations where structuring a sentence that way can improve the prose without impacting the meaning of the work. Every great sentence has a purpose. Since there's so much writing that needs to be done to get to a novel-length work, it can be tempting to put sentences in there just to, get to the word length. Don't do this. Every part of your novel needs to have a purpose, needs to have a reason for being in there, and this goes down to the sentence level. Great sentences do something to move a novel forward, either advancing the plot, characterizing the characters, setting the mood, or relaying the themes and ideas of the story. If a sentence describes the character taking the lid off of the sugar bowl, there should be a solid, defendable reason that that action is described. Does it really matter that your character's eyes are blue? Does it really matter that the 1997 Toyota Tercel they drive is light gray? Does it matter that they drive a Toyota Tercel? Sentences that describe needless details or relate unnecessary actions, while they make the story more visually evocative, they won't improve the novel overall. Your efforts should be on describing details about the setting and characters which relate to the overall narrative. The creatures outside looked from pig to man, and from man to pig, and from pig to man again, but already it was impossible to say which was which. That quote from Animal Farm provides a bit of description that, at least based on the title of the book, is entirely necessary. Every sentence should strengthen the story, not just make it longer. You can tell if a sentence matters by the impact that removing it has on your story. All human wisdom is summed up in these two words, wait and hope. That's from the Count of Monte Cristo, and this sentence, when delivered by the characters, signals a change in them, the culmination of their entire arc, and one of the major themes of the overall novel. Now, not every sentence is going to move the needle a ton. Not every sentence of your novel can deliver some profound element of the theme or evoke some crucial aspect of your character. But every sentence should have some kind of purpose, no matter how small, even if it's just a smaller part of a bigger movement within the story. Great sentences have to be said and cannot be ignored. They have a purpose and will weaken the story if removed. If you could cut a sentence and it keeps the story roughly the same, or even improves it, then it's a sure sign that it isn't great. It might be great on its own, but within the context of the story and where it fits and the broader scope of what you're trying to achieve, it's not great, so it needs to go. Just like it's time for me to go because the video is over. So there you have it. I hope you enjoyed this video and found the advice in it useful. If you want to see more stuff like this, you can check out all my other writing advice related videos and subscribe to my channel. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.